Today, let's go over an update for the Obi Wan Kenobi Star Wars movie. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, the anthology films really are the future of the Star Wars franchise, since each and every individual film can really take advantage of having its own tone. Rogue One, in a sense, is a war film. If you look at Solo, a Star Wars story, it's a heist movie, and the Kenobi movie is said to be a psychological drama. Now, looking at Kenobi, a Star Wars story, this past week or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about the film, all thanks to Fantha tracks and more. We've actually learned of everything, the whole entire plan by Disney when they start shooting, which is of course April of 2019. All of the storyboards and concept arts are actually currently in the works as of right now, which is really great to hear. But aside from all of that, we actually learned a little bit more about this movie. Now, as we have gone over in the past, one of the possible shooting locations that they are actually looking at is Tunisia, the home of Tatooine once again. But aside from that, they're also eyeing in on a beautiful landscape, a beautiful area on the Earth, on this planet. I gotta say, it's one of the most beautiful spots in the world, is a place called the Bernese Alps around Grindelwald in Switzerland. Now, this actually does raise a ton of interest for me personally, because if they are specifically looking at Switzerland for the Obi Wan Kenobi Star Wars movie for a possible location during principal photography early 2019, that really does tell me a lot of things. And the thing that actually really reminds me of is if you look at Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, towards the very end of the movie, you guys may or may not know this. If you don't, here's a little trivia. At the very end of the movie, when you do see the beautiful landscape, those Alps, right? Those snowy Alps. It's the planet of Alderaan, where Leia's getting dropped off to her newly adopted parents. That's, of course, Bail Organa and his wife. Now, looking at all of this, that shooting location was actually the same exact location that Disney and Lucasfilm are currently looking at for a possible location for principal photography in early 2019, is, of course, the Bernese Alps over in Grindelwald in Switzerland. So that was actually shot over in that area for Revenge of the Sith, for that specific scene for the planet of Alderaan. Now, could this very well mean that Alderaan, the planet of Alderaan, will be returning in Obi Wan Kenobi, a Star Wars story? Now, we do know, and this does make a lot of sense, because a lot of us have always been wondering, will the Kenobi standalone film only take place on Tatooine, which I have my doubts with. I don't see how they could possibly do that. So in order to explore different planets, I think that Alderaan makes a perfect fit, and the fact that they are looking at Switzerland really screams to me that they are going back to that planet that we saw at the very end of Revenge of the Sith. Not only that, Smits actually returned to play Bail Organa at the very end of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, or should I say midway through. He made a little cameo, but he also made an indirect reference to his friend Obi Wan Kenobi, if you guys caught that.
During the Clone Wars, and has lived in hiding since the Empress was sent for him.
You need someone you can trust.
I would trust her with my life.
To me, that sets up the Kenobi Star Wars story, and if you had to ask me, maybe the Kenobi film has a side plot where Bail Organa is trying to track down Obi Wan Kenobi, the old Jedi Master, after the Jedi Purge took place, of course, during the events and after the events of Revenge of the Sith. There's so much material to really work with, so many different side plots that they could actually implement in this Kenobi movie that would really make it very well engaging. To have Bail Organa be a major part in this movie would not only make a lot of sense, it would connect to not only the prequels, but also to Rogue One. It would serve as yet another prequel to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, as Solo, a Star Wars story, already is. So looking at Kenobi, I think that there's a lot of potential coming out of this movie where it doesn't necessarily have to only focus on Obi-Wan. It could also heavily focus on Bail Organa and essentially raising his stepdaughter, Leia. I think that's going to be a great piece and a great plot element for the movie if they really do want to take advantage of that. The other thing is that they could also have Kenobi looking over a young Luke Skywalker. Now, what better way to implement that in the movies, right? To have the Skywalker twins return in their younger years, in around the ages of 1 to 6 years old, give or take. I think that would be a perfect thing for Disney and Lucasfilm to do, because you would have the Skywalker twins returning in a different way. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.